What is going on, guys? So I have a pretty cool video for you guys, and we're going to be talking about the 2020 GT500. So chances are, if you clicked on this video, you are either subscribed to me or you are looking for info on GT500s, the 2020. So I'm going to jump right into some info for dyno and quarter mile times now that a few GT500s, by a few I mean two, have been kind of out in the public, and there's been some dyno and some track times. There's also been some press cars, which are a little bit different, but let's go ahead and jump into the two dyno results that we do have online, and then we'll talk about it really quick. Obviously, I don't have my hands on one right here, right now. They're very hard to come by, but huge shout out to the creators who do have content on them. I'm bringing it all together so that way we can go ahead and talk about all the data, and they went ahead and provided videos. So make sure you go check out their channels. Huge thanks to them for letting me use this footage. There's Evan Smith, Stang Mode, Speed Fenna, and Bren Speed just got this. So make sure you go check those guys out. Do that first. Hit the subscribe button on my channel, and we're jumping right into dyno results.
On standard.
Alright, so Speed Fenna was the first to release dyno results on the 2020 GT500. It's rated at 760 horsepower from the factory at the crank. We saw he put down 686 SAE smoothing 5, 705 STD. They did not get a torque reading, which I thought was really weird. Who knows why? I have no idea. They probably just didn't get tach signal off one of the coil ignition wires. No big deal, but they did not get a torque reading. Speed Fenna also ran this car on the quarter mile, and he actually ran pretty freaking good. 1066 at 132 miles an hour, a 1.727 60 foot, and a 6.9 at, get this, 107 miles an hour in the eighth, which is an incredible mile an hour in the eighth mile. So that car is definitely really impressive, but that is the only car we've seen until I think today. Bren Speed actually just got a car on the dyno. So let's jump over to Bren Speed's dyno results.
.684 roll horse at 7,500 RPM, torque 524 at about 5,000. The lowest of the four poles, 659, about 7,400, 510 torque. Now, 702 roll horse standard, 677 at the lowest, and 537 torque and 523.
So with Bren Speed, we saw very similar dyno results. We saw a 684 rear-wheel horsepower SAE smoothing 5. We saw 524 rear-wheel torque. So we finally got that torque reading that we were wondering about. 702 STD, 537 rear-wheel torque. So we are pretty much the same as Speed Fenna, which is interesting because two different dynos, two different places, both dyno jets, and both same car, but they're different places. So it's really interesting to see them come within a few horsepower, so it is cool to see that these cars are coming out pretty consistent. Bren Speed also compared that to a GT350 with a Whipple supercharger, and interestingly enough, the curve actually pretty much goes right over it. Obviously, the 2020 GT500 has a red line of 7,500, which of course everyone's going to be fixing when they tune these things, which is going to be really awesome to see what these things can do. Check out Bren Speed's video. He did a really cool comparison, has some driving clips, super cool. Go check that out. I want to talk quickly about the torque reading. So 537 rear-wheel torque. That is, actually pretty much less than a Gen 2 or Gen 3 Coyote torque number, which is interesting. It's actually very similar to a torque number of a GT350, which everyone says the flat plane crank causes the low torque number. So it's going to be curious to see if tuning will fix that low torque or if that is just an inherent feature of this motor. Now, the low torque does not necessarily mean it's slow. I mean, you've seen a 4,000 pound vehicle just go 10s with, you know, 700-ish wheel horsepower with so much more potential bone stock. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when these cars do get tuned, and hopefully I can give you guys some first-hand video of that. Also, if anybody out there is watching and they got their hands on a 2020 GT500, let me know ASAP. We will do videos, we'll do cool stuff. Definitely hit me up for sure. So I want to also talk about track times. Evan Smith had a press car. He went 1061 at 133 miles an hour in Bradenton, Florida. .75 60 foot, 6.9 at 103, so significantly less mile an hour in the 8th as Speed Phenom, but a very, very similar ET result. This result is a little interesting because this was a press car, so everyone wasn't really sure, like, hey, well, you know, Ford says that these cars aren't any different, but everyone always is a little curious, especially after the C8 Corvette that Motor Trend had their hands on. It made a really high dyno result and then turned out to not really be real, so everyone was a little worried. Obviously, the car runs that in the quarter mile, but we weren't sure if it had maybe a better calibration on it, but it is clear that that car is the same as the production car that Speed Phenom has shown. And staying mode, a good friend of mine, he also had a chance to take a car out at the press event in Las Vegas. That car went 1085 at 131 miles an hour. Very impressive, especially for him, you know, just hopping in this car and just going drive it, especially after that car was basically heat soaked. They wouldn't let anybody turn off the cars. Alright, so I hope you got a lot of info in this video. We're just kind of running through what we know, what we see, and overall these cars are really coming out pretty impressive. If you guys are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen with these cars. Tuned especially, you know, tune E85, 100 octane, boostane, whatever. So just get a tune on this thing, rev it out to 8,000, more ignition timing, and then, you know, pulleys and cat deletes and stuff like that, you know, that kind of stuff. And it should be really interesting to see what these things will run, what they'll make for horsepower, what those bottom ends will produce. When people start tearing down motors, it is going to be so cool to see what's happening with these. So guys, make sure you hit the like button down below. If you have not already checked out the MustangLifestyle.net website, we sell superchargers, suspension, fuel system, all sorts of stuff for GT500, S550, Coyote, New Edge. Make sure you go check it out. If you don't see what you want on the website, definitely give me a call. There's a number listed on the website, so you can go ahead and call, text. We'll get you a deal on whatever you need. We'll get it shipped right out to you. And if you guys need installation, you can also hit me up and I'll get you a quote for that too. So we will see you in the next one. Comment down below if you are excited for the 2020 GT500. I know I am, and we will see you guys in the next one.